Hi people, me again, obviously, more no way from bird. As always, Andrew as usual. Yeah, as you can tell, as always, Andrew as usual, this video, based on the header, this video is briefly going to be about one's astral body in detail. Now, for people that are watching this that aren't magicians, bluntly and simply and crudely put, your astral body is your spirit. It's the spiritual version of you. The one talking, the one thinking, the one doing everything in this world is your astral body, your spirit. Your physical body is an attachment that you need to manifest in the material world. You need a material body, a material or physical vessel. And that's what it is. But the one behind the steering wheel, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, is your astral body. For sorcerers, you already know what time it is. Now, a quick FYI in relation to one's astral body, you need to understand the metaphorical complexities, that it's not a black and white issue, and barely anything in this world is a black and white issue, especially something of substantial worth or value, something that isn't superficial in nature or arbitrary. In that context, your astral body, you are your astral body, like I already said in the beginning. But at the same time, your astral body also has metaphorically a mind of its own. Your astral body has a certain degree of independency about it. When you, for example, see, you have a dream, for example, and the dream was lifelike, and you found yourself in some location all across town, a location that's like 100 kilometers away, and you found yourself in a location in the dream that's 100 kilometers away, and everything is so vivid, super lifelike and all of that, blah, 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 blah. And then when you wake up the following day or morning, you look up the place and the place actually exists, or you already knew that the place existed. Yeah, that means that your astral body astral projected or astral traveled to that location in question, but obviously without your permission. So that's what I mean. Your astral body also has a certain degree of independency about itself, in the sense that it can know a certain thing, or it can know certain things that you are not aware of, and yet it still influences your mentality and your attitude overall, the way you compose yourself and the way you go about a certain issue or situation. Let's see, what other examples can I give? Let's just say, for example, simple example, someone curses you. Your astral body is going to warn you, generally speaking, by giving you a dream where, for example, you saw this person throw a stick at you, or the person was smoking a cigarette and they like blew smoke into your face, and it's one of your pet peeves. It's one of those things that you dislike. And then you woke up, but of course you don't know who the person is, you don't really recognize the person, etc., etc., but the person knows you. And of course the dream was lifelike and all of that. Yeah, that's your astral body's way of warning you that, hey, shit's gonna go down, we've been poisoned. Let me just put it that way. And you, like most people, if you're the average person, you can't make sense of the dream, and you're not willing to put in the effort to understand what the meaning behind it is, so you just leave it be, and you just say to yourself, I'll deal with it to the best of my ability when the time comes, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. And your astral body has its own agenda up to a certain extent. Now, this is not something that happens often. In terms of frequency, I would say it happens not once every blue moon, but maybe once or twice on occasion. Your astral body doesn't just fly off the handle, to put it that way, willy-nilly. It does things in an independent fashion, so without you being aware of it or you having any knowledge of it, in certain situations and under certain conditions and circumstances. And generally speaking, its attitude is your attitude, obviously. So the attitude that it displays is obviously the attitude that you will display based on the way that the universe works. That you will display in the material world, so in quote-unquote real life. But like I said, in certain situations, your astral body is going to do something, or is going to undertake action, like, for example, talk to that person, etc., and you're not aware of it. Example is that, to continue my aforementioned example of cursing, that your astral body will essentially, for example, try warning the person, and I don't know, through some happenstance you find all of this out, in a manner of speaking. It's purely an example. And long story short, you know, the person tells you, hey, I was so upset with you that I tried cursing you, or I cursed you, and you know, I had a dream like a couple of weeks afterwards that in which you were just pointing your finger at me and you were telling me, hey, don't do this, don't do that, I don't like it when you do that, okay, otherwise I might undertake serious action against you, blah 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 blah. And you have no idea that you did that in that dream. You have no idea that, you know, that actually went down. But see what I mean? Your astral body took it upon itself, the spiritual version of you, the one that is running the show, took it upon itself to actually to undertake proactive measures against the metaphorical assailant in question, the perceived threat, to put it that way. And you have no knowledge on it. That's an example. Stuff like that happens, I want to say, anywhere between rarely and semi-frequently. It happens once every 4 or 5 times. Let me just put it that way. It all depends on the situation. But that's just an FYI, just so you know, because a lot of people go through stuff where they have no idea, and me being who I am, obviously I have to deal with. I've dealt on multiple occasions with people where, for example, the spiritual version of them, their astral bodies, know, for example, what I'm up to in relation to them, whether it's launching an inquiry into them, looking into their background and whatnot, and they have no idea. I spoke to their astral bodies, but they have no idea. See what I mean? Like that. Okay. They might, for example, out of 4 actions that I undertake with their astral body in the way of conversation and dialogue, they might only get like 1 dream, for example, or just a hunch, if you will, that, hey, this is what happened, and you know, lately, for example, I've been thinking about you more, you know, and this and so on and so forth. But see, that's what I mean, that's all. Whereas with the spiritual version of them, I've already carried out like a full-blown discussion of like 15 minutes, and we got a whole thing going. And the person in the material world is barely aware of any of this. The person simply has like a hunch, in the sense of, hey, lately I've been thinking about you more, I feel more attracted to you, blah blah blah, and that's it. Like that. So that's what I mean with what is given or indicated in the title. Bye bye.